Creation emanated from the Big Bang, but it took spirituality to answer the question of the original cause of the Big Bang. The theory states that in the beginning there was nothing, then there was a Big Bang and the universe exploded from a point, and kept increasing in size, expanding away from the central point of the Big Bang. Till today, the universe is still expanding away from the point of the Big Bang. But what is the cause of the Big Bang? To scientists, this has been a mystery, but spiritualists know that the Big Bang actually took place when the creation's words, "Let there be light," was sent out from the divine realm to the creations. Hence, with the statement from God, a point of light appears at the summit of creations. In the beginning, there was the divine realm and, outside it, nothing. This has been simply depicted in the biblical book of Genesis chapter 1. The Spirit sparks, flowing like luminous clouds above the creations, was overseen from above the lowest point of the divine, by the Holy Spirit at the lowest divine anchorage of the Holy Grail. Hence the Spirit of God hovered over the deep. When the Lord said, "Let there be light," through His will a point of light was thrust out of the divine realm and was anchored outside it. This point of light started expanding and radiating out towards the void. This was the Big Bang. From this, the only law governing creation is the will of God. This will of God is then anchored in the law of radiations, for everything outside of God are nothing but radiations of God that is the result of His will. The pressure of the bang was unimaginably enormous. Hence, as the radiation pushes outwards, forms precipitate at distances they can bear the pressure of light source. The continuous expansion was thus a result of radiations getting further and further away from the source, which precipitates cooling off at intervals they can endure the pressure above and yet can go no further down. This wanting to move away from the source of light results in what is later known as gravitation. Herewith I mention one manifestation of the will of God, referred to as the law of gravitation. The law of gravity manifests in different ways at each plane of spiritual existence. In the world of gross matter, i.e. the physical world, gravity manifests in the law of movement, depicted by Isaac Newton in his laws of motion. It talks of the inherent attraction power of every physical object. But the so-called gravitational attraction is only the movement away from source. Once, scientists were able to measure the force of gravity on Earth and at outer space, but discovered that the force was more in outer space than on Earth, that is, it increases as you move further into space. In the ethereal realm, it works differently, through the human spirit is affected through the direction of its volition. The spirit will always want to strive towards paradise, its origin. But the ethereal cloaks will always keep it down. If the volition is evil, the ethereal cloak becomes denser and therefore drags the spirit further away from the origin, i.e. away from the light. It is then said that the spirit sinks low towards the nether region. If the spirit is encased in a physical body, the result is that, when the good volition is sown, there is a feeling of inexplicable joy and lightness, but when a wrong volition is sown, you feel heavy and depressed. With this again I mention one other manifestation of the will of God, the law of sowing and reaping. This law, the law of reciprocal action, also manifests in different planes in different ways. On Earth it is noted that you cannot plant corn and reap rice, and that the single corn planted yields ears of corn. The planting of corn begins a cycle that culminates in the harvest of other corns, which is put back on the soil to close the cycle and begin a new one. Spiritually speaking, crimes committed at the physical level must be paid for at the physical level, and those at ethereal must be paid for at the ethereal level. Hence we see an offshoot of the law of reciprocal action, the law of cycles, that states that the cycles can only close where they started. The next manifestations of the will of God are that law of attraction, which states that like attract like. This is depicted by the statement that birds of a feather flock together. Smokers find bedfellows, scientists look for each other, etc. This attraction does not include split units, as for example, magnets, where positive and negative parts are half species seeking completion in each other before becoming full species. It is this law that is responsible for formation of power centers in the ethereal plane. These their basic laws, in their combined activity result in the law of balance, the law that holds the cosmos together in a swirling flashes of colors and tones, which, as we get closer to the source of the Big Bang, the more they merge into one. They are at the same time anchors of the law of symbolism, where every sound creates a picture, a form that is enclosed in different parts of the creational planes. These pictures can be represented in symbols, or numbers, hence resulting in the law of the number. The law of the number, through which the 7 seals of the Book of Revelation was opened, revealing the number 666 and the Antichrist.